हेलो फ्रेंड्स, मैं आप सबका स्वागत करता हूं इस वीडियो में प्रोसेस क्रिएशन इन लिनक्स। आपके सामने इससे पहले बहुत सारे वीडियोस आए हैं रिलेटेड टू प्रोसेस, लाइक व्हाट इज़ प्रोसेस, प्रोसेस स्टेट ट्रांजिशन डायग्राम, एंड देन नाउ दिस वीडियो इट इज़ रिलेटेड टू क्रिएशन ऑफ प्रोसेस इन लिनक्स ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम। वी हैव डिस्कस प्रोसेस क्या है, प्रोसेस के स्टेट्स क्या है, दैट ऑलरेडी वी हैव डिस्कस्ड इन आवर प्रीवियस वीडियोस। नाउ what is the mechanism, how to create a process, how the Linux operating system handles the process, that particular topic still remains our topic of discussion. So in that point of view, now ये वीडियो में वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस, हम देखने वाले हैं कि कैसा प्रोसेस को हम क्रिएट करेंगे प्रैक्टिकली in the form of a program, how that particular entity or that particular thing, जो process हमारा है, how it will be created, like that we are going to discuss. So in that background, as we have seen that process is nothing but it is the program under execution, and it is an active entity, means it can move from one place to another place. Place means either it can go for hard disk, or it can go for RAM, or it can go for CPU. Like this, the process movement can be there. And it can change the states. Either it can be in ready, running, waiting suspended, ready, suspended, block state, and terminated state. So like this, it is having different stages of its life cycle. Like this, it is having different movement. Like this, it is having different. And also with that particular process, we have seen that it is having process ID, and then it is having some information related to input output. So like this, the process is having different attributes attached to it. And there are n number of processes. Every operating system creates n number of processes, and every process has its specific function. And depending upon that application and function, it do or perform its functions punctually. Now, in this particular topic, we are going to discuss regarding the process creation in Linux operating system. How the Linux operating system can create a process, that is our topic of discussion in this video. So, with this regard, इसके रिलेटेड में as we have seen that a new process can be created by a fork system call, and that name of that system call is fork. System call means nothing but it is a routine, or it is a function which can be invoked or which can be called by a system, and that function, it is called as, the name of that function, it is fork. So a new process can be created by the fork system call. The new process consists of copy of the address space of the original process. Means यहाँ पे आपको ये देखना होगा कि address, the new process consists of copy of the address space of the original process. Means for calling or making a system call fork, there is also one process. So that process is nothing but that original process which is going to be used, the fork system call, for creating a new process. That is the meaning of this particular terminology, that new process consists of copy of a address space of the original process. Okay, now we are moving towards now fork create new process from existing process, that already हमने जो अभी discuss किया है that point. Existing process is called parent process, जो process से और दूसरा process create हो रहा है, so that particular process is called as parent process, and the process is created newly is called a child process. So यहाँ पे हम conclude करेंगे, यहाँ पे हम बोल सकते हैं कि there is a relation of parent and child between the existing and new process, means existing process से जो new process create हो गया, so they are having the relationship of parent and child. Parent child is existing process and new process is the child process. The function is called from the parent process. Both the parent and the child process continue execution at the instruction after the fork. The return code of the fork is 0 for the new process, whereas process identifier of the child is returned to the parent. Means कौन सा process create हुआ है आपका, so that particular information that is called as process identifier, so that information is returned to the parent process. Now this fork system call, if you see, it is situated in the systype.h library file of our C compiler. So this particular information of the fork system call means it can be obtained from this particular header file. Means whenever you are using the fork system call in your C program, so in that particular program you have to first include this header file, and from this header file it can get all the information related to that fork system call. So now the system call get PID, return the process ID. As the name suggests, this function will return the process ID of the current process, and get PID returns the process ID of the parent process. Means we are having two processes here. One is the parent process, another one is the child process. So get PID will return the PID or process ID of the child process, and get PID, it will return the process ID of the child process, of the parent process. So we are having two processes. One is parent process, another one is child process. So we can get their IDs or their identification numbers by using these functions which are already available in our C compiler or C language, that get PID and get PID. And by using this header file type.h, we can use that fork system call in our C language program. So here we have some example of the program by which we can create. So this example will be used for understanding purpose for how the process can be created in a C language. By taking the example of C language program, we are trying to understand the concept of process creation by using the process system call, that is fork. So we have included the files type.h, stdio.h, and stdio.h, uni-stdio.h. All these are hidden files which are used for the program. Int main as our main function, it will return some value, that's why it is given here a main. Now we are declaring some variables, PID, child PID, and then we have a function for creating the process, that is fork. So we have invoked that function, or we have called that function, and that function will create some process ID, and that process ID will be returned in the variable, that is child PID. So this variable is there. Now now we are having our conditional statement like this: if child ID PID is less than 0, print of fork failed, return 1. Means if the fork system call is failed to create any new process, so in that case it will return the value as 0 for this child PID, less than 0. So if it is less than 0, the fork is failed. Like this we will get the message. Else, if child PID is equal to 0, then child process successfully created. We are creating the ID of the child, and we are printing the ID of the parent by using these functions get PID and get PPID. Else, wait null, printf parent process successfully created, and we are printing that particular IDs. So here in this program, after running this program, see the output are child process created successfully, PID, parent process created successfully, and child PID and parent PID. So in this way, the child and parent processes are created by using our system called, that is called as the fork system called. So this is the normal process by using the C language for creating the processes and getting their IDs, and then by creating their IDs we can use them for our different purposes. So in this way the creation of the process is there in the Linux operating system. Now we will see the topic like setting priority to the process. So in this priority, nothing but it is one type of privilege, and as we have seen that an operating system has n number of processes, and CPU, it is always ready for execution of the processes, but CPU को भी एक डिसीजन लेना पड़ता है कि which process is very important, which process is less important, किसको कब execute करना है. That particular process, that particular decision has to be taken by CPU depending upon some factors, depending upon some priorities, and for that particular thing CPU also uses some algorithm, and that algorithm is based on the priorities which are set to the process. So here, what is that priority? Like Linux, most modern operating system can run multiple processes. It does this by sharing the CPU and other resources among the processes. If one process can use 100% of the CPU, then other process may become unresponsive. Now we are going to see see how the Linux assign priorities for the process or task, because unless the CPUs are having some priorities or processes are having some priorities, it will not get any chance for the other processes to complete their execution. So in that way also, in that point of view also, the processes priorities are important. Means we have to set some priority to the process so that every process gets some chance for execution and every process can complete its execution. So now, why to worry about these priorities? Some processes might be highly CPU intensive, but not as important as other, and hence can have a lower priority, while others may have not been highly CPU insensitive but very important and hence should have higher priority. For example, if there is a process A which detects fraud with the input data, and there is another process which make hourly backup of the some data, then priority for A is greater than priority B. This ensures that both A and B are running at the same time would be allocated more processing bandwidth. So like this terminology means we have to just understand that every process is having some priority, and based on that priority, CPU has to take decision in that particular regard that which process is very important, which will have the CPU time most, and which has to be executed first, which has to be executed next. Like this, CPU has to make some decision based on some priorities and all that things. So in that particular scenario, the CPU scheduling algorithms plays very important role for allocating the CPU time for the processes which are having high priority and the processes which are having low priority, and based on that every process will get some CPU time for execution. So here every process has some priority value. The priority value of the process is actually priority which is used by the Linux kernel to schedule a task. In Linux system priorities are 0 to 139, in which 0 to 99 for real time and 100 to 139 for users. So like these priority values are there for every process. So based upon that priority value, the processes are scheduled on the CPU, and that CPU scheduling algorithm make the decision based upon the priorities means which process has to be executed first and which process has to be executed for what amount of time and what interval of time, it has to be get the CPU scheduling. So in this video we have discussed two terminologies, means how to create the process by using fork system call and how to assign priorities to the process. In the next video we'll discuss some remaining topics related to the process. Thank you.